So, way out there in the cosmos, there's this star, and it's doing something it just shouldn't be doing. It's acting in a way that seems to just break all the known rules of astrophysics, and it's got scientists completely scratching their heads. We're about to dive into one of the most fascinating and frankly bizarre objects ever discovered. And look, that is not an exaggeration at all. This quote just perfectly nails the feeling of frustration and pure wonder that astronomers have when they look at this thing. Every single time they think they've got a handle on it, the star does something new, something even weirder, and they're right back to square one. It's a true cosmic whodunit. And this number right here, this is the core of the whole mystery, 22%. That is the biggest, most extreme dip in brightness ever seen from a star like this. To give you some perspective, if our sun suddenly dimmed by that much, it would be a global catastrophe. That's the scale of the weirdness we're talking about. All right, so let's get properly introduced to our mystery object. The official, kind of boring name is KIC 8462852, but pretty much everyone calls it Tabby's star, which is a nod to the astronomer Tabitha Boyajian, who was leading the team that found it. And it's way out there, about 1,470 light years away from us. You know, if you just looked at its stats, there's nothing all that special about it. It's what they call an F-type main sequence star, so a little bigger, a little hotter than our sun. It should be stable, predictable. Honestly, it should be kind of boring. But as you're about to see, its behavior is, well, it's anything but. So what's the big deal? Well, it all comes down to this. The star's light keeps dimming, but not in any regular, predictable way. You know, like when a planet passes in front of it? This is totally different. It's completely erratic. The drops in brightness are incredibly deep, and you never know when they're going to happen. Okay, here's a way to think about it. A normal star, like our own sun, is like a steady, reliable lamp. Its light output is super consistent. Tabby star, on the other hand, it's like a faulty light bulb that's just flickering like crazy. This kind of chaotic flickering is something we have just never, ever seen before in any other star. And this chart right here, man, it just shows you how absolutely wild these depths are. One moment it might dim by 5%. Okay, weird, but maybe manageable. The next time it could plummet by 15%. And then you have that monster, that 22% drop we talked about. There's just no rhythm, no rhyme or reason to it. It's pure chaos. And that's exactly what makes it so tough to explain. So what did scientists do? Pretty much what you'd expect. They started checking off all the usual cosmic suspects. They went down a list, trying to find a totally normal, natural explanation that would fit all the data. But they just kept hitting one dead end after another. Okay, first up on the list of usual suspects, a giant ring of debris. Maybe some planets or asteroids got smashed to bits and are now orbiting the star. We've seen stuff like that in other parts of the universe. It seems like a totally reasonable place to start looking for an answer. Yeah, that idea fell apart pretty fast. The math it doesn't add up. Not even close. Think about it. Even a gas giant as huge as Jupiter passing in front of a star this size would only block about 1% of its light. We're seeing drops of up to 22%. There's just no way a known planet or a field of debris could do that. All right, so planets are out. What about a giant, clumpy cloud of interstellar dust just drifting in front of it? Space is full of dust clouds, and they definitely block starlight. So this became the next big theory. But nope, that one didn't fly either. See, while dust can dim a star, it usually blocks certain colors of light, like blue light, more than others. We didn't really see that here. But more importantly, a dust cloud just doesn't explain these super sharp, random, and massive dips in brightness. The light pattern just doesn't match at all. And this is where the story goes from weird to something straight out of science fiction. Once you've exhausted every conventional, natural explanation you can think of, you're forced to start considering some, let's just say, extraordinary possibilities. What if the thing blocking the light wasn't natural at all? So before we go any further, we need a quick primer on this thing called a Dyson sphere. Now, this is a concept from science fiction that some serious physicists actually entertain. It's this hypothetical megastructure, like a massive swarm of satellites, or maybe even a solid shell, that a super advanced civilization could theoretically build around their star to soak up all of its energy. And that is the wild, mind-bending idea that some scientists actually put on the table. What if what we're seeing is the construction, or maybe the operation, of one of these alien megastructures? A swarm of massive artificial objects orbiting the star, randomly blocking its light in a chaotic, totally unnatural way. So, is it aliens? Well, let's pump the brakes a little. We have no idea. The alien megastructure theory is an incredible, fascinating idea, but that's what it is, a hypothesis. The truth is, even after years and years of pointing our best telescopes at Tabby's star, it's still one of the most confusing and deepest mysteries in all of science. So at the end of the day, we're staring at these incredible, wild possibilities. Is this just some kind of one-in-a-trillion cosmic fluke that we've never seen before? Are we watching a solar system tear itself to pieces in a way we just don't understand yet? Or could it really be the first sign of technology out there that's not our own? The search for an answer is absolutely ongoing, but for right now, the star is holding onto its secrets. It forces us to ask some really big questions about what we think we know about the universe, and it makes us consider possibilities that are just truly mind-boggling. So what do you think? What's really hiding out there around this impossible star?